Very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vadwa. Let's get to your top story, and that's the Supreme Court that we're hearing a request by the country's top wrestlers against alleged sexual misconduct by the wrestling body chief days after they renewed their protest in the national capital. Indian Olympic Association President P.T. Usha came down heavily on the wrestlers who have resumed their protests against the Wrestling Federation of India's chief, Brij, Bhushan, accusing him of sexual harassment. In a statement, P.T. Usha has gone on to say that the wrestlers protesting on the streets is tarnishing the image of India. She also went on to say that the protest by these elite wrestlers equates to indiscipline. Listen in.
हमारा एथलेटिक कमीशन है वो लोग को पहले थोड़ा तो डिसिप्लिन तो होना चाहिए है ना तो दे शुड कम टू अस अर्लियर इफ दे हैव अ रियल प्रॉब्लम instead of coming to us they are gone straight away to street. No, it is not good for the sports, not only for the residents.
We have Tanish joining us from Jantar Mantar in the national capital. Tanish, in the last hearing, the court had issued a notice to the Delhi police. Meanwhile, Union Minister Anurag Thakur has said that an FIR can be registered at any police station.
Yes, and he also said that the Delhi police is doing a preliminary inquiry. Today the hearing is at the Supreme Court and I am at Jantar Mantar. Wrestlers have started their early morning exercise, their early morning routine. You can see, Divya, all the wrestlers are exercising, top wrestlers, and they have been doing that for the past 40 days. Bajrang Punia, Vinesh Phogat, Sakshi Malik, Sangeeta Phogat, all are present here and all of them have been exercising. We can see children as young as 11 years old exercising here. All of them aspired to become wrestlers and all of them have gathered here at Jantar Mantar for the wrestlers protest. Supreme Court hearing is expected around 11 a.m. Then only protesters will decide whether they will continue their protest or will they stop their protest. But right now, early morning, all the wrestlers have gathered here. All of them are practicing. There are very young, aspiring wrestlers who aspire to play for India in the future. There is also Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Phogat, Sangeeta Phogat.
Tanish, just get us the reactions of the wrestlers there protesting at Jantar Mantar after those statements made by P.T. Usha.
Yes, I would like to first tell you about what happened yesterday. After P.T. Usha made a comment about that the protest amounts to indiscipline. The wrestlers reacted sharply to P.T. Usha's comment. In fact, we saw Sakshi Malik crying, and she said that she is hurt by P.T. Usha's comment and she did not expect her to make such a comment. They reacted sharply. We also spoke exclusively to Sakshi Malik. Let's listen in to what Sakshi Malik had to say to us. Day 5 of wrestlers' protest, and there have been some major developments today. P.T. Usha has reacted to the protest, and along with her, Anurag Thakur has also reacted to the protest. Now, I am joined by Sakshi Malik, who is at the forefront of this protest since the very beginning. साक्षी जी, सबसे पहले आप क्या बोलना चाहेंगी? पीटी उषा के जो कमेंट्स रहे हैं दैट इनडिसिप्लिन है ये प्रोटेस्ट, उसके ऊपर आप क्या कहना चाहेंगी?
देखो, सबसे पहले तो हम यहाँ बैठते ही नहीं अगर फैसला अच्छा होता। जो भी कमेटी में बयान दे के आई है लड़के जो कि ऑन रिकॉर्ड है, वीडियो बन रही थी वहाँ पे, तो और जो कमेटी के मेंबर्स थे वो भी रो रहे थे लड़कियों को चुप कराने के लिए, फीमेल मेंबर्स, कि हम आपको न्याय दिलाएंगे। लेकिन कहाँ दिलाया न्याय? हमारी तो नहीं सुनी गई, तो उसके बाद मजबूरन हमें यहाँ बैठना पड़ा। और रही बात अनडिसिप्लिन की, तो एक एथलीट इतनी ऊपर तक तभी पहुँच पाता है जब वो डिसिप्लिन में होता है पूरा। तो आज बड़ी निराशा हुई, बड़ा दुख हुआ ये सुन के कि एक महिला होके भी वो महिलाओं का दर्द नहीं समझ रही हैं। क्योंकि मैं बचपन से उनको फॉलो करती हूँ और हमेशा से ये था कि उन्होंने अपने देश का नाम रोशन किया तो मुझे भी उन जैसा बनना है। लेकिन वो भी इतना अनसेंसिटिव और ये सब बयान देते हैं तो दिल को बड़ा ठेस पहुँची, आज पूरा दिन से ठेस पहुँच रही है।
Moving on to news coming in from Manipur, Section 144 has been imposed and internet services have been suspended in Chura Chandpur, and this is because of a mob that vandalized and set on fire the venue of Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh's scheduled program in the state's Chura Chandpur district on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. The police said the situation has been tense and they've increased security in the district, some 63 kilometers from the state capital of Imphal. Mr. Biren is scheduled to inaugurate a gym and a sports facility at the district, while civil society groups have also called for a total shutdown in Chura Chandpur as a mark of non-cooperation with the then government. The police quickly swung into action and dispersed the mob, but not before the venue was damaged with hundreds of burning chairs. Visuals of the incident show huge crowds breaking chairs and damaging property inside a hall where Mr. Singh is scheduled to visit today. They also set on fire sports equipment and the grounds where the event will be held. The authorities have not confirmed whether the program has been cancelled. However, Section 144 has now been imposed and internet services have been suspended. So it's unlikely for that program to continue. The protest was allegedly led by Tribal Leaders Forum, which has been objecting to the BJP government survey of reserved and protected forests and similar areas like wetlands. The forum alleged that the state government has demolished churches with absolutely no consideration and respect for something which is deeply sacred. They're calling for a complete ban. My colleague Ratnadeep has the details.
There is an update in the story that Manipur government has now imposed a shutdown of internet in Churachandpur district, and also prohibitory orders under Section 144 of CRPC has been imposed in the district now. This, the police says, is to keep a control over the situation. Remember, the situation actually turned very tense yesterday when a mob actually vandalized the venue where this event was supposed to take place. It was a government event where Chief Minister was supposed to inaugurate an open-air gym, and there were certain other government programs lined up. But a mob late night went there and they torched the properties, the equipments, the sports equipments, as well as chairs, those visuals that we are playing out. And in fact, police had to resort to use of force at that point of time. But the situation remained very tense. Now, there has been a build-up to this for the past couple of months. In fact, many of the tribal groups, particularly from the Kuki communities, have been meet with the state government. Certain recent decisions. In one hand, in the hill areas of Manipur, the state government for the last 1 year has been, running a campaign which they call a war against drugs, where illegal poppy cultivations were destroyed, and but the allegation is that in the name of the war against drugs, many tribal people were harassed by the state police. So there has been an allegation. There has been certain evictions from some in the hill areas from the tribal villages, which the state government had claimed that those evictions were because those were encroached. The land was encroached upon, and that was also a bone of contention. And then recently, the Manipur government actually decided to come out of the tripartite ceasefire agreement with several tribal militant groups, including the Kuki group. This also has been a reason of displeasure among the tribes, particularly the Kuki community, who dominate the areas like Churachandpur as well as Kankopi. And remember, in the month of March, there was a peace rally in Kankopi where there was a pitched battle between the police and the protesters. And on top of it, in fact, recently the state government actually in 3 locations had demolished 3 churches. Now, this, in fact, the protesting groups in the press release that they had sent out yesterday had mentioned about it. They're saying that this demolition of church has hurt their religious sentiments. However, this demolition, the state government says that this demolition has taken place only after a High Court's order and in line with the Supreme Court order that in government land you cannot have religious structures. So therefore, there has been multiple issues that kind of is been the bone of contention between the government and the tribal groups, particularly the Kuki community. And therefore, it seems now people are miffed. And however, no organization has taken responsibility of what has happened last night. But there is a day-long shutdown called by the tribal groups in that area, which has been supported by the Kuki Students Union, which is a powerful students' body.
Moving on, defence ministers of India and China met on Thursday. India has sent a strong message to China during the first meeting of the defence ministers of the two nations since the Galwan incident, underscoring the need for peace and tranquility at the border. New Delhi has said violation of existing agreements has eroded the entire basis of bilateral relations. To get more on this, we have my colleague Vishnu joining us on the phone line. Vishnu, the two ministers met ahead of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's defence ministers gathering in New Delhi today.
They met yesterday, and this is the first visit of the Chinese defense minister to India since the Galwan incident took place. And India gave, as you mentioned, a very strong message to China yesterday, saying that the entire basis of the bilateral relationship between India and China was affected by the situation along the line of actual control. But today is the defense ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, all of them. The focus of the SCO is to look at issues such as Afghanistan, regional security, while ensuring that every country respects the territorial integrity of the other. So lots of countries which are important local partners for India. For example, China is going to be there. Pakistan's defense minister will be attending on online, I believe. Tajikistan will be there. Russia will be there as well. Iran will be there. So the defense ministers of all of these countries are now in India, in New Delhi, for these very important talks.
Vishnu, the defence ministers met on Thursday, but that meeting that's going to be taking place today, you mentioned that the countries that are going to be participating, the defence minister of the Pakistani counterpart of the defence minister of India will also be attending that meeting virtually. So take us through the theme of India's chairmanship of the SCO.
Well, the SCO is, India is sort of heading the SCO this year. There are various levels of discussions which take place. The SCO defense ministers, as I mentioned, they come together every year and they look at regional issues of concern. They look at the issue of terrorism, while ensuring, as I mentioned, that the charter of the SCO is followed. And that's what they are going to be doing this year as well. So that's what the focus is. It's the same focus as has essentially been the case for the last many years.
Vishnu, what time is Rajnath Singh expected to chair that SCO defence ministers meeting today?
I'm not sure what time the meeting is, but it is today.
Right. Thank you so much, Vishnu, for getting us all those details. Moving on, India evacuated the 10th batch of its nationals from Port Sudan and brought them to Saudi city of Jeddah, according to the Ministry of External Affairs. Under rescue mission Operation Kaveri, India is taking out evacuees from Sudan amid the ongoing conflict between the regular army and a paramilitary force. Earlier on Thursday, Foreign Secretary went on to say that the centre estimates approximately 3,500 Indian nationals in Sudan and about 1,000 odd PIOs are also in Sudan, adding the security situation in Sudan remains very complex, highly volatile and unpredictable, and it's India's objective in order to get every stranded Indian out of that country and out of harm's way. And with that, we're slipping to a very short break. Lots more coming up on the other side. The BJP has called for a 12-hour bandh in North Bengal today in protest against atrocities on the tribal community. North Bengal includes the districts of Cooch Behar, Jalpaiguri, as well as Alipurduar and Darjeeling, Uttar Dinajpur, Dakshin Dinajpur and Malda. The Trinamool Congress has accused the BJP of playing politics with the unfortunate death of a teenager and indulging in vulture politics.
जिस तरीके से उत्तर बंगाल में एक की बाद एक घटनाएं घट रही है और उत्तर बंगाल के बेटियों के साथ एक के बाद एक घिनौनी हरकत हो रही है और तृणमूल कांग्रेस पुलिस जो ट्रिगर हैप्पी पुलिस हो चुकी है और जो उत्तर बंगाल के साधारण नागरिक के ऊपर अत्याचार कर रहे हैं, इसके खिलाफ 12 घंटे का बंद स्ट्राइक का हमने सर्वात्मक स्ट्राइक का हमने कॉल किया है भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से.
First of all, you have seen that police of West Bengal, they are very tolerant and they are very capable. If you recall 13th September 2022, the way the BJP Harmats and goons who were brought from outside, they set the police vehicles into fire
They assaulted police officers brutally. Devjit Chatterjee, ACP, who got injured badly, and you have seen the repetition in Kaliaganj as well. But police were very cautious and very careful. It's not UP where encounter takes place off and on. It's not UP where custodian death takes place off and on.
Switching tracks, a 19-year-old girl from Sagar in Madhya Pradesh studying for NEET exams hanged herself in her hostel room in Kota. She'd been studying there and preparing for medical exams for the last 1 year. According to the police, she was reportedly unwell and was unable to concentrate on her studies, which left her depressed. My colleague Harsha Kumari Singh gets us the report.
19-year-old Rashi from Madhya Pradesh died by suicide in her hostel room. Though she left no suicide note, police found medicines in her room and believe she was upset as she was falling sick and unable to keep up with her studies.
साल भर से रह रही थी, सागर जिले की रहने वाली एमपी की। सुसाइड नोट भी बरामद हुआ? नहीं, सुसाइड नोट मैंने नहीं दी। अने अकेडमी है, उसमें नेट की तैयारी करना बताया था उन हॉस्टल वालों ने।
Rashi's suicide is a trend that is worrying. It's the 7th suicide by a student in Kota. Last year, 17 students died by suicide in Kota. In 2017, the figure was 10, and in 2018, it was 12. During 2019 and 20, in the middle of the pandemic, there were few students in Kota. In 2021, as coaching resumed, 9 students died by suicide. Experts say, post-COVID, the suicide rate has increased by 60% in Kota. Mental and academic stress is one of the main reasons for these young suicides.
सामाजिक दबाव तो आता ही है, और जब विषम परिस्थितियों में आपको जीना हो, विषम परिस्थितियां इसलिए हैं कि वो बच्चा छोटी उम्र का होता है, जिसको अभी अपने कोई भी काम करना नहीं आता, उसको अचानक सारे काम खुद करने पड़ते हैं, और वो भी एक डिफरेंट कल्चर के अंदर करने पड़ते हैं, डिफरेंट स्टेट के अंदर, डिफरेंट सिटी के अंदर करने पड़ते हैं, तो नेचुरली मानसिक तनाव ज़्यादा होता है। और मानसिक तनाव होता सबको है थोड़ा बहुत, लेकिन उसको कुप अप नहीं कर पाने के कारण फेल्योर होता है बच्चे। मेडिकल प्रोफेशन और आईआईटी का प्रोफेशन अभी भी सामाजिक दृष्टि से बहुत महत्व रखते हैं दोनों ही।
Along with the burden of expectations and a high premium that society puts on success.
फैमिली तो हर किसी की फैमिली में चाहिए कि बच्चा अगर आया है कोटा तो पढ़े लिख के फिर कुछ करे। सिंपल सी बात है, नीट क्रैक करे, डॉक्टर बने।
Almost 90% of the suicides reported have been by hanging. The administration has been pushing for a device in fans in hostel rooms that will collapse when too much weight is put on them. But simple measures like these and a bill to regulate coaching institutes that will make it mandatory for children to take aptitude tests before admission is yet to come into place in Kota. In Jaipur, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
In other news, Padma Krishnai, the daughter of the IAS officer murdered in Bihar 29 years ago, has appealed to the Prime Minister with folded hands to intervene about the release of Anand Mohan Singh, a man who was jailed in the case, a gangster turned politician. Anand Mohan Singh was released at 3 o'clock in the morning following a tweak in the jail rules of the state. The matter has turned into a huge political controversy, with the top body of IAS officers in the country and leaders of the BJP criticizing the Nitish Kumar government. My colleague Tanushree has the details.
Murder convict Anand Mohan out of jail in the dark, well before sunset. His release from Saharsa jail today after 16 years was made possible by the Bihar government changing a key rule. The Don turned politician instigated a mob which killed an IAS officer, G. Krishnaiah, in 1994, the DM of Gopalganj. His release has caused a political war in Bihar. The BJP says it's done by the Nitish government to garner Rajput votes ahead of 2024 elections, although some in the party welcome the release.
आपने जेल मैनुअल को ट्वीक किया, उसमें संशोधन किया, उसमें सुधार किया, केवल 2024 के लोकसभा चुनाव में वोट लेने के लिए अपराधियों को छोड़ा गया।
However, Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav says it's done legally.
अपना सजा जो है उन्होंने काटा है, जो लीगल तरीका है, कानूनी तरीका है, उससे वो रिया हो अपने सजा काट।
In fact, Bihar's Chief Secretary has justified his release, saying it's done after seeing Anand Mohan's overall report.
हर व्यक्ति को, हर संगठन को अपनी राय व्यक्त करने का अधिकार है। लोग अपनी अपनी राय दे रहे हैं।
The Don's supporters in Saharsa hail him as hero.
ये एक अच्छे इंसान हैं, राम जी हैं हमारे, और ये जो निकले हैं और बहुत कुछ होने वाला है, इस समाज का कल्याण होने वाला है, और ये वो एक जनमानस के नेता हैं.
Not just in Saharsa, in Mohan's native village, hundreds gathered to catch his glimpse. They say, for them it's like Ram coming back from exile.
तो आप भी राजपूत हैं? आप राजपूत हैं, तो आप वोट देंगे इनके नाम पे?
क्यों नहीं देंगे?
हाँ, सरकार को वोट देंगे इनके नाम पे?
इनके नाम पर वोट देंगे.
Though not everyone in his village agrees.
हमको तो नहीं लगता है कि यहाँ पे लोगों के लिए कुछ काम किया है. जो बात है, अगर काम होता तो आप कहीं पे भी जाइए, पूछिए जाकर के, आपको शायद कोई नहीं बताएगा कि यहाँ पे काम आनंद मोहन पर्सनली यहाँ पे कुछ किए हैं.
Anand Mohan's son, Chetan Anand, claims his father was wrongly convicted.
कोर्ट का जो है जो आदेश था उसको हम लोगों ने बिल्कुल माना, पूरी सजा कंप्लीट की हम लोगों ने. एंड टुडे वी आर मतलब after 16 long years he's out.
A big political war between the BJP and the current ruling government on the ground, where the BJP is actually attacking the government, saying that you cannot release a hardened criminal. In fact, what we are learning that G. Krishnaya's wife is also going to urge to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Murmu against the release of Anand Mohan. But as far as mood on the ground is concerned, there are posters being put up and he is being hailed as a hero, as Shere Bihar. With camera person Habib and Tanushri Pandey for NDTV from Saharsa in Bihar.
And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.